Gentlemen, if you value your peace, your wallet, and your future, listen closely. There's a specific kind of resentment that builds in a relationship, a quiet, corrosive acid that most men don't see coming till the divorce papers are already on the kitchen island. It starts with a simple, noble idea: I'll support her while she climbs. But here's the reality no one wants to admit. Women generally hate being the primary financial engine of a household. For many, it isn't a source of pride, it's a precursor to the end. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Relationship Mind. We're here to help you navigate music, the often messy realities of modern relationships, and self development through practical, actionable music psychology. No fluff, a no academic theory, just the truth about how the world actually works. I want to walk you through a video that's been tearing through music social media lately. It's got nearly 10 million views, and for good reason. It captures a ticking time bomb in real time. In the clip, a young couple is being interviewed. They're 27 and 28, married for 2 years, but they've been a team for 5. They look happy. They look like the power couple everyone tells you to strive for. When the interviewer asks how they handle the bills, Music the husband speaks up with a look of genuine pride. He says that right now he's covering everything. He's the provider. But here's the twist. His wife is on her way to becoming a doctor. He explains his vision with the kind of earnestness that music makes most guys feel like they're doing the right thing. And he says he views it as empowering to support her career path. He's willing to do anything to protect her ambition because, in his mind, it's an investment that will pay off in the long term. He's looking at a spreadsheet. He's looking at a future where they have 2 high incomes and a life of luxury. But when the interviewer turns to the wife and asks if she's okay taking over the bills once she's a doctor, her response is the first red flag. Music. She says, he's investing in my future, so I'm hoping I can invest in our future in the future. Did you catch the linguistic slip, brother? He is investing in her. She is hoping music to eventually invest in them. There was no mention of her investing in him. Music. This isn't just semantics. It's a window into a psychological shift that happens when the traditional roles of a relationship are inverted. Yet, we've been conditioned to believe that love is all you need and that a partnership is a 50-50 corporate merger. Music. But humans aren't corporations. We are biological entities driven by deep-seated instincts. When a man spends years building music, a woman, he often assumes he's building a deeper bond of loyalty. In reality, music might just be building a ladder for her to climb right out of his reach. Think of it like this. If you spend 5 years and every cent you have restoring a vintage Porsche that was sitting in a junk heap, you're doing it because you love the car. You're the one getting your hands greasy. But once that Porsche is pristine, high-performing, and valued at 6 figures, it doesn't owe you a smooth ride. It just exists as a high-value machine. And suddenly it's not looking for the mechanic who fixed it up in a dusty garage. Mom is looking for the open road and a driver who matches its new status. It sounds cold, but social dynamics often mirror that exact trajectory. This video went viral because it touches a nerve. We see this young man full of hope, thinking he's being the ultimate supportive partner. While the audience, especially the men who have been through the meat grinder, sees the writing on the wall. We see a man who is currently useful but whose utility has an expiration date. Once that medical degree is framed on the wall, the power dynamic in that house doesn't just shift. It flips. And when a woman finds herself looking down at the man who once helped her up, the chemistry of the relationship changes in ways that are almost impossible to reverse. If this resonates with you, or if you've seen this play out in your own life, I want you to join a growing community of men who are tired of the mainstream narrative and ready to build something real. Hit that subscribe button and stick around because we're just scratching the surface of the hidden code behind these interactions. Before we move on to the biological law that explains why this happens, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been the investor in a partner's career only to music feel the vibe change once they hit the top? Drop a comment below with the word investment to lock in this lesson, and let me, music, know you're following the logic. Now, if you have the chance to watch that viral clip yourself, and I mean really watch it, past the smiles and the polished power couple exterior, you'll see a split second where the mask slips. It happens right when the music husband starts talking about her taking over the finances. Her eyes shift, Her posture stiffens. It's a micro expression of something, music, that looks a lot like discomfort, bordering on disgust. To understand why that is, you have to understand a concept called Breifault's law. It was postulated by Robert Breifault, an anthropologist who studied music's social structures across the animal kingdom. He argued that in most species, the female, not the male, determines the duration of the association. Specifically, he noted that where the female can derive no future benefit from the male, the relationship will cease music to exist. Now, I know that sounds clinical, maybe even a bit cynical, but stay with me. This isn't about calling people animals or saying women are calculating. It's about recognizing the biological blueprint that has kept our species alive for millennia. Music. For most of human history, a woman's survival and the survival of her children depended on her ability to pair with a man who could provide protection and resources. Even in our modern world of corporate ladders and high speed internet, that ancient software is still running in the background. We call this hypergamy, the innate drive to seek a partner of equal or higher status. When that young man in the video talks about his wife becoming a doctor, he thinks he's being a hero. He thinks he's building a debt of gratitude. But gratitude is a conscious, illogical emotion. Attraction, on the other hand, is visceral. It's chemical. For a woman to maintain a high level of desire for a man, she generally needs to look music up to him. She needs to feel that he is a mountain she can lean on. The moment she becomes the doctor, the high earner, the one with the social prestige, and he remains the guy who helped music her get there, the mountain starts to look like a molehill. It's a phenomenon I call the success gap. I remember talking to a guy named Mark. Music Mark spent 6 years working double shifts at a warehouse so his wife could finish her MBA and land a job at a top-tier consulting firm. He was her rock. He did the dishes. Music. He prepped her for interviews. He held her when she cried over finals. But 6 months after she got that $150,000 starting salary and started rubbing shoulders with VPs and high F flyers, her adoration for Mark evaporated. She didn't leave because he was a bad guy. She left because she no longer viewed him as her peer. In her new world, he was the warehouse guy. The very support he provided, the sacrifice that allowed her to ascend, became the thing that made him look music stagnant in her eyes. This is the inherent disgust I mentioned. It's a harsh word, but it describes that sinking feeling a woman gets when she realizes she is the lead in the relationship. When she has to be the one to worry about the mortgage, music, the investments, and the long-term security, she often stops seeing her husband as a music partner and starts seeing him as another dependent, essentially a fifth child. She wants to be led, music it, but she can't be led by someone she views as less than in the social or financial hierarchy. It's like a world-class athlete trying to take coaching advice from someone who's never stepped on the field. The respect just isn't there. You'll hear this from divorce lawyers all the time. One of the biggest red flags for music, a marriage isn't infidelity or even growing apart. It's a lopsided promotion. When a woman gets a massive raise or a title that puts her significantly above her husband, the contempt clock starts ticking. She starts looking around the office at Kevin the VP or Music Steve in accounting, men who match her new frequency, and suddenly the husband who put her through school starts music to look like a relic of a past life. It's not fair and it's certainly not nice, but music is how the internal machinery of attraction often works. Oh, brother, you have to realize that you cannot buy loyalty with sacrifice. You cannot earn desire by being a stepping stone. If you aren't growing alongside her, or better yet, staying a few steps ahead in your own development, you're accidentally setting the stage for your own exit. Before we get into the story of a man who music gave everything and paid the ultimate price, I want you to reflect on this. Do you believe a relationship can truly survive if the man is no longer the leader in the household? Comment below with the word respect if you believe that attraction is built on a foundation of mutual status. To understand the sheer weight of these dynamics, I want to tell you about a man I used to know named Paul. He was a mechanic, not just a guy who changed oil, but a master of his craft. He was a salt of the earth Italian music guy, the kind of man who would give you the shirt off his back and then fix your radiator for free if he knew you were struggling. Paul had a successful shop, a solid reputation, and music, a wife he absolutely adored. They had 4 kids. He had built what most people would call a music good life. But Paul's wife had an ambition that reached beyond the shop floor. She wanted to go to law school. Being the provider and the music good man he was, Paul didn't just support the idea, he bankrolled the dream. He bought a condo in the city, so music she wouldn't have to commute while she studied. And he stayed out in the suburbs running his business all day, then rushing home to play Mr. Mom handling the kids, the extracurriculars, the dinners, and the domestic chaos so she could have the mental space to master the law. He viewed this as a team effort. He was the foundation and she was the spire. He believed with every fiber of his being, music, that once she passed the bar, they would enter a new era of shared success. He was investing in their future. Years passed, and I eventually moved away. When I finally returned to his shop a few years later, I expected to see Paul there. Maybe a bit older, but still chipper. Instead, I found his shop foreman. When I asked where Paul was, the man looked at the floor and told me, "Paul's gone. He died. He was in his early 50s. He wasn't obese. He was a worker." Yeah, he looked healthy the last time I saw him. But the foreman told me a story that should serve as a haunting warning to every man music watching this. As it turns out, the moment Paul's wife got that law degree, music, and started her new life as a high-powered attorney, the future benefit Paul provided vanished. In the hallowed, wood-painted halls of law firms, a greasy-fingered mechanic, even one who owned the shop, didn't fit the new brand. She didn't see the man who sacrificed music, his sleep, and his youth to give her that career. She saw a man she had outgrown. She met someone at law school, music a fellow student who shared her new status, and she had an affair. She divorced Paul shortly after getting her degree. The foreman told me that they found Paul one morning lying on the floor of his shop, dead of a massive heart attack. And his little French bulldog was sitting right there next to him. The guys in the shop said he died of a broken heart. His health had gone south the moment the betrayal hit. He had spent his life's energy building a pedestal for a woman who used it to step over him. This is the extreme, tragic reality of what happens when a man forgets that a relationship isn't a debt collection agency. You cannot trade support for loyalty. Brother Paul did everything right according to the script society gave him. He was selfless, he was hardworking, and he was music supportive. But he failed to realize that by taking on the support role and letting her ascend to a status far above his own, he was inadvertently killing her desire for him. He became a tool, a means to music, an end. And once the end was achieved, the tool was discarded. God, it's a story I've seen play out dozens, music, of times. It might not always end in a literal heart attack, but it ends in the death of the man's spirit, his music finances, and his faith in partnership. We have to be honest about the psychological toll of these investments. When you build a woman up, you are changing the very person you fell in love with. You are introducing new variables, new peers, and a new sense of self-importance into her life. If your own growth doesn't outpace hers, you are essentially funding your own replacement. It's a bitter music pill, I know, but wouldn't you rather take the pill now than find yourself on the floor of a shop, music, 20 years from now, wondering where it all went wrong? I want to pause here because this is heavy stuff. Plus, if Paul's story makes you feel a certain way, if it makes you want to rethink how you're positioning yourself in your current relationship, then we're making music progress. I want you to head down to the comments right now. This is a simple one, but it's an affirmation of your own value. Type the word priority in the comments. It's a reminder that while you can support others, you must never stop being the priority in your own development. Now, I didn't come here just to paint a bleak picture of heartbreak and shop floors. Music. There is a reality here that most men are too emotional to see. But if you can detach for a second, you'll realize that the hidden code actually has a built-in safety net. It's the silver lining that nobody talks music about because it sounds cold. But on this channel, we deal in cold facts. If you've spent years building her up, putting her through med school, law school, or helping her climb the corporate ladder and she decides to walk away because she found herself or outgrew you, there is a pragmatic victory waiting for you in the courtroom. In the eyes of family law, the roles are often reversed, music, when the woman is the high earner. If you've been the one holding down the fort, making less, miss, or sacrificing your career trajectory to facilitate hers, the transfer of wealth doesn't care about your gender. It cares about the numbers. If she wants to untie the knot after you've made her a success, music, she is often the one who has to pay. Whether it's alimony, spousal support, or a significant chunk of the assets she earned while you were investing in her, the law essentially forces her to pay back that investment. I know a guy who felt like his life was over when his high flying executive wife left him for a colleague. He had been the supportive husband for a decade, but after the dust settled, he realized he was walking away with a massive settlement and monthly support payments that allowed him to start the business he'd always put on the back burner. He turned his music heartbreak into a seed fund. It doesn't take away the betrayal, oh brother, but it does mean that your sacrifice wasn't a total loss. If you can make it past the ego bruise and the emotional wreckage, you might find that you're actually better off. She gets the high stress career and the massive tax bill. You get the freedom to rebuild yourself on your own terms. But the real lesson here isn't music about how to win a divorce. It's about how to vet your life properly from the jump. You need to understand that a woman's future benefit is music, the compass of her loyalty. If you stop being a source of growth, protection, or status, the relationship enters a state of decay. It's not evil. It's just the way the software is written. Women are hypergamous. They need to adore music, you. They need to feel that you are a man of value who is moving toward a destination. And on the moment you stop moving and become nothing more than a support beam for her destination, the clock starts ticking. You have to be a man who is constantly developing himself physically, financially, and mentally. Don't let your support for her become an excuse for your own stagnation. Keep your edge. Keep music, your hobbies. Keep your mission. If she sees that you are still the captain of your own ship, she'll be much less likely to jump overboard when she hits music the mainland. She needs to know that while you are happy to have her on the journey, the ship is moving with or without her. That is the only way to maintain the respect that fuels long-term desire. We cover music, all of this in depth. From vetting partners for long-term loyalty to building the music kind of wealth that makes you unshakable inside the hidden code, we have over 30 hours of material designed to give you the tools I wish I had when I was starting out. If you're ready to stop being a stepping stone and start being the architect of your own life, I invite you to join us. Subscribe to the channel and join a growing community of men who are dedicated to excellence and self-mastery. We're building something different here, and we'd be honored to have you in the ranks. Gentlemen, don't be appalled. Don't give everything away and hope for the best. Music. Build yourself first, protect your peace, and always keep an eye on the code. If you've stayed with me this far, you're already ahead of 90% of the men out there. Drop a comment below music with the word blueprint to show me you're ready to build your life the right way. I'll see you in the next.